So a couple customers that I have, I've known them for probably about 10 years or so, came into the shop and they let me know that they had a house that they were going to have to deal with pretty soon, but it was kind of a mess, and that the mom had recently moved out, about the time she was 100 years old, and she's still alive. And they asked if I was interested in going out to have a look at some of the antiques that might be there. Because they said, well, they're thinking about maybe bulldozing the house or getting rid of it. And I said, well, before you guys do that, or before you sell the property as is with contents, can you at least let me go and buy some things out of the house? So having a YouTube channel, I thought, well, this will be a fun adventure. So I went out and I started documenting, buying a few of the antiques. And I started finding so many things that I just said, well, what would it take to buy the whole property? And so I went out there to just buy a few things for my car and to bring back to the store, and ended up with a whole house. Some of the artifacts I found so far were anything from 100-year-old car lanterns, antique furniture, soapstones, indigenous soapstones and carvings. Found an envelope full of money. That was a pretty good find. We found $2,000 cash that was hidden in a garbage bag underneath a pile of rubbish, which actually helped pay for the garbage removal itself. It was kind of funny. It was in a garbage bag and we ended up using it to do garbage removal. So it helped pay for itself. But one of the best thing that I found so far was some of her original artwork. And being a fairly well-known artist and being world-renowned in her field back in the 1960s and 70s, we weren't expecting to find any of it. We thought it was all in galleries or on exhibition or on loan. And so when I started going through the house, there was little boxes here and there, and you'd open it up, and it would be something like a milk carton with plastic bags, and you'd go through and open it up, and sure enough, there'd be pottery in it. And by the time I was done, I ended up finding over 40 pieces of original artwork throughout the house, and I'm still digging stuff out now. Yeah, well, the goal for the house right now is to clean it. It's a beautiful old home. It needs some renovation for sure, and we have to get it assessed to make sure that it is something that is worth saving. So get it structurally checked out, make sure the water lines are good. But the idea for the home would be to restore and renovate it, and perhaps get it designated as a historic property, as this is where she made her pottery. Her studio was there, so I think it might be a great thing for the community. So we want to respect and honor the work that she did early in her life. How this deal happened is that I looked at what I had already taken from the house that I wanted to buy before I agreed to buy the property, and I figured, well, that had a certain amount of value to it. So I thought, well, if there's this much stuff I'm finding on the surface, you can kind of guess that there's going to be more. And then the house and the land has value as well. So when they gave me a price on the house and the land, it was less than what the land was worth, because the house was seen as being sort of a detriment because you had to empty it. And I thought, well, I could do that. I can do the hard work. I can do this work on it. So I got it at a discount. So I talked to my wife, I made a phone call, I researched online what property values were in that town, and it was an educated risk, but it's been paying off tenfold and then some so far. So.